My name is Nicole Willis, and if you're just joining me, I have been creating videos on my cancer journey. So I've created a video months ago, it's probably 4 months ago, when I first learned about my cancer and how I discovered it. It's called How the Discovery of Anal Fissure Fistula Led to Cancer, the discovery of cancer. So if you want to get caught up onto where I am now, feel free to scroll and look at the very first video that I've posted and check it out so you can learn more. It has been 2 months since I've stopped radiation and chemotherapy. It's been quite the ride. I've been through quite a bit since then. I am doing better now, but it's taken, 2 months and I'm still not fully healed. I still have chronic pain in my rectum from the radiation, but all things considered, I'm doing pretty good. I did 33 rounds of radiation and chemo pills every day that I went to radiation Monday through Friday, and had the weekends off. And I did 2 IV fusions with chemotherapy at the beginning of radiation and towards the end, and tolerated those pretty well. I did get a lot of side effects from the radiation, and I took steroids several times through my journey with the treatment. And with radiation causes a lot of issues, so I've had a lot of bladder problems. Of course, my gut has totally been screwed up, and it's still kind of screwed up, but it's getting better. I wasn't allowed to have eat raw fruits and vegetables during my treatment because the radiation tends to cause lots of diarrhea, and they didn't, want you to keep having diarrhea. So fiber, fruits and vegetables make it worse. So I've been slowly introducing the fiber fruits and veggies back in my diet, and just a little at a time. And it's just kind of like a roller coaster with my gut right now, but it is getting better for sure. The pain is getting more tolerable. It is, it's interesting because in the order of things that have healed in my body, the last thing that is, healing or taking its time is where they actually radiated the tumor in that spot. And I can feel it, and it bothers me a lot at times, and other times it's pretty tolerable. Walking still isn't fun. I've been forced myself walking like a mile a day, and it does seem to make it feel better once I force myself to do it. But it just is uncomfortable. But if I'm sitting still, I don't feel the pain. It's just like movement. And it's been interesting to see how things have gotten better. Things that I have been doing to help myself heal is hyperbaric chamber oxygen therapy. I've gone through 25 sessions, and that has, I believe, really helped in aiding in my healing, to help your body naturally heal itself. I didn't even know what it was until I started Googling how to heal from radiation faster, and I had no idea what hyperbaric even was, and I didn't realize it's been around for quite a while. They use it for people that are scuba diving, that get the bends to bring them down to pressure, back to pressure. And then they use it for trauma patients with wounds that aren't healing, radiation patients. So, it's got a lot of uses for people. Unfortunately, insurance does not cover it. It can be quite pricey. But if you buy package deals from places, they usually come off the price pretty good. So it makes it more affordable. You really need to do more than 10 sessions to be beneficial. After I finished radiation, I had an insane burn in my groin area. It was pretty bad. It was probably if you can imagine the worst sunburn you ever had. It's like that. And I really think the hyperbaric helped that heal up really fast. It got really bad there towards the end. But after about a week of doing hyperbaric, it was almost gone. And my bladder issues, it was always burning when I was urinating, that got better. And I feel like hyperbaric just kind of helps speed the healing process with that up. Other interesting things that have happened to my body that I did not anticipate was having vaginal issues because you're being radiated down there. So everything's naturally affected. You know, if your bladder's affected, more than likely your vagina is going to get affected. So the opening to my vagina has shrunk in a little bit, which after, you know, making these videos, people were commenting on the YouTube channel and talking about that. And it brought it my attention. I had no idea, and it made me do research. So I proactively bought dilators to help with that. And I've been using those, and that has helped a lot, like a lot. So I think me staying on that and not waiting and procrastinating really helped that situation. So everything else in my body after 2 months finally seems to be healing and getting better, even my gut, even though it's still a little wacky, but that spot where they radiated is probably like the last thing that's going to heal, because I guess they pretty much call it colitis now, because where the tumor was, there's now like an ulcer, which is, you know, pretty painful still, going to the bathroom. Nowhere near like it was a month ago or even 2 months ago. Oh my goodness, it was horrible. The last day of my radiation, I just was like, oh wow, this is the worst the pain's gonna get, right? Like this has gotta be the max pain level, right? But then I learned, like from my doctor, that no, your pain is gonna spike after you're done. It's gonna spike. And I was like, oh, great, okay. Well, it did. Oh my goodness, big time. Pretty miserable. But things have, like I said, gotten better. I have been able to do a little bit more yoga. Not a lot, but like plank holds, some sun salutations, some gentle stretching. I try to get on my mat every day. I think, you know, I feel my body feels like really stiff, like my legs feel really stiff, and, you know, like I could probably use like a really good massage. Which I'm afraid to go get that done just because I can't lay flat on my back quite like comfortably. So I have to like put my knees up, and, you know, I'm sitting fine. Like, right now, I'm able to sit a little better than I was. I was just having to go on either side and not like sit flat, and this is the thing, is like a lot of people are like, why don't you use like one of those butt pillows or whatever? And they actually hurt to sit on. I'd rather sit on something hard. I know that sounds weird, but if you think about yoga and a yoga mat when you're sitting down, if you ever took a yoga class, and the teacher says, you know, your sits bones, those bones that are hitting the floor when you sit down, like when those hit the floor first, it's not pushing on the tissue up in my rectum, so it's allowing space and it's not squishing it. So when you put something soft there, it's pushing on all that tissue, making it uncomfortable. So it's easier to sit on a hard surface sometimes than something soft, which is interesting because you would think it'd be the opposite. I have been able to start using the bidet again because there's no way. I tried the handheld. I had a portable travel one that I was taking with me to like radiation and stuff in case I had to go and I couldn't really clean myself. But there was a point where I couldn't even use that. It would just sting and burn. Just the trickle of water would just hurt. Whereas taking a bath felt great. It's kind of weird. And then taking a shower even hurt, like trying to clean yourself. And so that was pretty darn miserable. I did get this like cleansing lotion stuff that's made for like vaginally and rectally. And so that's what the radiation doctor recommended to help clean myself. But now I'm able to use the bidet again. It doesn't hurt like it was. So it's like it's mostly healed on the outside. And it took like a month and a half for that to happen. The inside is still obviously not healed. I did see my surgeon. He wanted to examine me. I said, no way, it's too painful. And so he's scheduled me for May 22nd to go back and be put under anesthesia so he can examine me rectally to make sure the fissure's gone, make sure that it all looks good, the tumor he doesn't feel. I'm also having a PET CT scan on May the 11th. So that will detect any cancer in my body. It's a full body PET scan, a PET CT scan. So, you know, I'm on May the 11th, and I'm a little nervous about it, just for obvious reasons, but I'm also staying positive that the treatment worked, because the last week of radiation, and I didn't say this, I haven't talked about this yet, but the last week of radiation, they gave me an MRI. Typically they don't, because everything's lit up and it's just kind of hard to see. But my radiation oncologist wanted to do that. I'm glad he did. He was able to see that it's not in the lymph node next door anymore. So totally out of the lymph node, and the tumor itself has shrunk in size, like half in size. So they are happy because they're seeing that it's responding, and they knew it wouldn't be just gone, because it takes a while. Like, he told me that from the very beginning was, we'll check at the end, but we don't expect it to just be gone. We expect to see, some sort of, something, but we don't expect it to be gone. So as long as it's responding, that's really all they want to see, and for good news. So the fact that it's not in the lymph node next door, and that it was shrunk half in size, and it was like hard for him to even find it, was really great. And again, that was 2 months ago, and the radiation keeps doing its job after you've stopped, so it'll keep shrinking. So that's why they wait a few months before you come back to get a scan, so that you have plenty of time for things to like do their thing, like there's the tumor to like continue to shrink. So worst case scenario, if it's still there, residual, anything, they'll want me to continue just like chemo. No more radiation, just like chemo pills, a different type of chemo pills that I was on. I've lost the name of it. It's been a while since I've been on them. I kind of like want to just forget about them. Don't want to think about them anymore, because I hated taking them. But the thing with those pills that I was taking gave me really bad hand and foot disease, whatever they call it, where your hands, the palms of your hands and the bottoms of your feet feel like they're sunburned. I was wearing gloves all the time with Aquaphor, sleeping with tons of Aquaphor on my feet with socks, and it was like painful to walk in the morning because they felt sunburned. And then after all that left my system, it peeled really bad. My hands and my feet were just coming up, like sheets of skin were coming off. It was disgusting. But thankfully all that's done and gone out of my system. And I'm healed up from that. And I do also, want to say that the hyperbaric probably helped with that quite a bit too. And I had all these spots on my hands, on the back of my hands, and they're all like gone now, which is fantastic. So if you're able to do hyperbaric and you've had radiation, highly recommend it. I would just get in that thing and take a nap. It's basically like a one-man tent, and they take you down to like sea level or something. Like, I may be saying this incorrectly, but they drop the pressure, and then they give you oxygen, and you can stay in there 90 minutes if your bladder will allow you to. Mine would never let me till the end. Till my bladder started healing, then I could stay in there longer. But it was like, when I first started, I barely could make an hour. And like, I wouldn't even drink for 3 hours beforehand. It was just like frequent urination is a side effect. And so that's a real thing. But now I'm like, doing a lot better and looking forward to the future. And I have taken a trip back home since last week. I went home to visit my family in good old Arkansas, and got to see my son and my dad and my sister and my friends, and really enjoyed myself, and was so thankful to be able to get on a plane. I've had a lot of anxiety about leaving the house. It's getting easier. I'm just like, don't want to get somewhere where I have to go to the bathroom, then I'm in pain. Because like that, it's just, when you're so used to having to deal with that problem, it's just like such a worry in your mind, because you've got this wacky gut that has a mind of its own sometimes. But it is getting better, like I said. So I'm happy. I'm happy to be where I'm at. I'm playing my singing bowls. In fact, I have my first singing bowl gig on April 28th, the next Friday, at Cliff House Lodge in Morrison, Colorado. They're having a retreat for that weekend. So, if you're in the area and you're interested, they have like a whole weekend scheduled full of like amazing things, like wonderful. There's going to be a lot of vegan food there. They have cottages you can rent. They're going to do like a lot of yoga and meditation and dance and like my healing sound bowl offering. It's going to be pretty amazing. So I'm really looking forward to that. But again, that's Cliff House Lodge in Morrison, Colorado. It's pretty incredible. Another thing, there's this app that one of my doctors at not my main radiation oncologist, but a doctor and his team have helped create this app called Cancer Go. And it's just a platform for support for people that have cancer or people that have lost someone to cancer. It is pretty incredible, and I'm on there. Highly recommend it if you have cancer and you want some additional information, support, whatever. It's a great app. Also, speaking of support, I have definitely been dealing with lots of bills that just seem to keep coming in. I keep paying them off thinking, oh, I'm done. No, more keeps coming. I've had 2 surgeries last year that I had to pay off, and then in like all the radiation and chemotherapy and doctor visits and lab work and MRIs and PET scans have really added up, even with insurance. Totally insane. But if you're able and you can, I have a GoFundMe. There's a link on my YouTube channel. If you can't, just send me your healing vibes, take those too. But that's on there on my homepage. I believe there's a link and it's still up. Some wonderful friends of mine started it for me because they knew that I wouldn't do that for myself. And they're right. Like I would have never started a GoFundMe for myself. I don't know. I just have a hard time accepting help, but like they've helped me realize that it's okay to accept help when you need it. And they started the GoFundMe without even asking me because they knew I would say no, which I thought that was kind of funny and very sweet. They know me very well. So that's about it. I'm going to get back on here and talk about like my scans and what those outcomes were sometime after, I go see the surgeon and get more answers. So I will keep you guys posted best I can in like a month from now and give you an update. I hope you guys are all well and happy and doing things you love and enjoying life because it's very short. And that's one thing, I've already knew that just from the death that I have experienced in life with my mom and my son's father and like my best friend and like losing people that are really near and dear to me. But the cancer has taught me a lot about patience because the healing is, I have expectations for when I should be feeling better and I should be doing this and I should be back to my regular activities. But life has other plans and it's not on my timeline. And I just have to stop and reflect on like what has gotten better for me, what has changed whenever I'm feeling frustrated or impatient with my healing because I just want to feel normal, just normal. Like I'm not asking much. I just want to go play disc golf. I just want to walk my dog without my butt like hurting. I want to just feel normal, just like all of us, like we all do. I want to just have no pain, no chronic pain, and live life. And I hope that is all what you guys are doing. And thank you for your love and support. It's been amazing. I really appreciate it.